NBA superstars whose careers were ruined by injuries. Injuries are an unfortunate reality when it comes to sports. Full seasons or even entire careers get ruined by athletes who endure horrible damage to their bodies. In this video, we're going to go over the all-time greatest NBA stars who had their careers derailed due to injury. Let's get into it. Derrick Rose. When the Bulls drafted Rose with the first overall pick in 2008, the expectation was for him to bring new life to a franchise that was starving for a new identity post-Michael Jordan. D. Rose brought that and more to the table. The explosive point guard dazzled his way to the 2009 Rookie of the Year honors. He could cross him up like Iverson, blow by him like Westbrook, and had the magic touch around the rim of Kyrie Irving. Rose was a true joy to watch during the early part of his career. Near the end of Game 1 of the 2012 NBA playoffs, something horrible happened. The Bulls were beating the 76ers by 12 points with only 1 minute, 22 seconds remaining in the game. Some could argue that coach Tom Thibodeau should have already taken his star off the floor, but hindsight is always 20/20. Driving to the basket, Rose hit the floor hard. It was a true joy to watch during the early part of his career. Near the end of Game 1 of the 2012 NBA playoffs, something horrible happened. The Bulls were beating the 76ers by 12 points with only 1 minute, 22 seconds remaining in the game. Some could argue that coach Tom Thibodeau should have already taken his star off the floor, but hindsight is always 20/20. Driving to the basket, Rose hit the floor hard. He got medical attention and was forced to leave the game on a stretcher. An MRI revealed a severe ACL tear in Derrick Rose's knee. Rose missed the entire following season, rehabbing his injury, and never made a full recovery. Kudos to him for staying positive and adjusting his game to becoming a role player. Rose remains in the league today as a 34-year-old bench player on the New York Knicks. However, we're all left dreaming of the legacy that could have been had Rose never hurt his knee against the 76ers. Yao Ming. When you mention the all-time greatest big men, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, and Bill Russell are always mentioned on that list. Chinese-born Yao Ming isn't quite on that tier. One could argue that his injuries were the biggest reason why. Yao was truly remarkable in his own unique way. Not only was he 7'6" and over 300 pounds, he also had incredible coordination and touch. Throughout his entire NBA career, Yao Ming averaged 1.9 blocks per game with an .833 free throw percentage. None of the other great shot blockers in the history of the NBA are even close to Yao's efficiency from the line. Yao had to battle foot injuries throughout his entire career. He had highly arched feet and was one of the heaviest players to ever play. The constant impact took a toll on his body. Yao missed significant time due to foot injuries in 2006, 2007, and 2008. Following the 2008-09 season, where Yao finished 12th in league MVP voting, he opted for major reconstructive foot surgery, which proved to be the end of his NBA career. He only played 5 games in the 2010-11 season before hanging up his size 18 sneakers. Yao amounted 7 full NBA seasons, a Rookie of the Year trophy, and was named an All-Star every season during his career. But who knows what could have been had his career not been plagued by constant injuries. Grant Hill. Hill played a storied career at Duke University before getting drafted 3rd overall by the Detroit Pistons. He had the playing style that earned him instant stardom and the tall task of taking the reins as the face of the NBA following the career of Michael Jordan. Grant Hill was 6'8" and had incredible guard skills and a superstar flair on both ends of the court. He was compared to a young Magic Johnson with more scoring upside. He won co-Rookie of the Year honors along with Jason Kidd and earned 5 All-Star appearances in his first 6 NBA seasons. The 1999-2000 season saw him take his game to another level. Near the end of the season, Hill rolled his ankle, and there were questions about whether he would be able to suit up for his team's first-round playoff matchup against the Miami Heat. Rumors swirled that Hill was planning on sitting out the series as a precautionary measure because he had already earned himself a massive long-term contract. As a competitor, he took his reputation seriously and wasn't about to let his name get dragged through the dirt. He played in the series, but was hardly effective for the Pistons. Even worse, he further damaged his ankle by not giving it the necessary rehabilitation that it needed. The ensuing offseason, he was traded to the Orlando Magic, where he signed a massive 7-year contract extension. Early 2000s sports medicine was not as advanced as it is today, and the mindset was very short-sighted when it came to athletes' performance. His first 3 seasons in Orlando saw him suit up for only 47 games, in which he was only a shell of a healthy version of himself. In 2003, he opted for major reconstructive ankle surgery that would force him to sit out an entire season. During his recovery, he contracted MRSA, an infectious disease that has a strong resistance to antibiotics and can be fatal in some instances. Fortunately, the NBA star recovered and returned to the NBA, but never came close to the level at which he played before all the injuries. Greg Oden. Oden may have been the all-time best basketball player whose NBA career never got off the ground, literally and metaphorically. The 7-footer was an absolute legend in his home state of Indiana. His high school career was celebrated with championships, awards, and records that make him one of the best U.S. high school athletes in history. He opted to commit to Ohio State University, along with his high school teammate Mike Conley. The freshman duo instantly made Ohio State the preseason favorites and the top-ranked team in the nation. Ohio State didn't disappoint either. They ended up going to March Madness as a #1 seed before going to the finals and eventually losing to an all-time great Florida Gators team. Greg Oden scored 25 points and added 12 rebounds and 4 blocks in the national title game. He went on to get drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers first overall over future star Kevin Durant in 2007. The decision was well justified. Oden had the makeup of a young Hakeem Olajuwon and was most certainly going to be a matchup nightmare on both sides of the court. Before he was even able to play a single game for the Blazers, he fractured his knee and opted for a surgery that forced him to miss the entire 2007-08 NBA season. After recovering, he hurt his foot, which delayed his start to the following season as well. He managed to play in 61 games before another injury forced him to end his season early. The Blazers eased him into the 2009-10 season, where he only played half the minutes in his team's games while still averaging an astonishing 2.3 blocks per game. The limited role proved to be not enough to preserve the brittle star's career. He only managed to play 21 games before, once again, injuring his knee and was forced to opt out for another major surgery.
Zola gives Brooks the pick. Oh, Greg went down and, his knee is... Holy cow, Portland doesn't need this.
That was it for Oden. He was never able to make an impact with his limitations. The misfortune and physical pain caused immense mental health issues for the young man. But he has made the most of his life by returning to Ohio State in a coaching capacity. You can barely call him a bust, because talent was never the issue for Oden. One of the saddest career stories in the NBA. Brandon Roy. As if the Trailblazers didn't have enough bad luck with Oden, they also had to deal with the downfall of promising young shooting guard Brandon Roy. Roy earned Rookie of the Year honors in 2007 at age 22. At 6'6", he displayed the lethal scoring skills that were quickly proving to make him one of the most dominant shooting guards of his era. His next 3 seasons earned him consecutive All-Star appearances and the nickname Daggers, based on his ability to hit remarkable shots in the dying seconds of close games. His ability to play with ice-cold confidence under pressure was reminiscent of Kobe Bryant. In 2008, at the ripe age of 23, Brandon Roy's knees quickly began to deteriorate. It became known that he had a degenerative knee condition that was going to prevent him from playing a long career. He had to get a piece of cartilage removed from his left knee. By the playoffs in 2010, when Roy was only 25 years old, the pain barely allowed him to compete. In what proved to be his last All-Star season, Roy saw his numbers drop from 21.5 points per game in the regular season to 9.7 points per game in the playoffs. He opted for some serious reconstructive knee surgery and was never able to get anywhere close to the All-Star level he played at as a youngster. In 2011, at the age of 26, doctors told Roy that if he continued to play basketball, he may not be able to walk by age 30. He was forced into a very early retirement. He attempted a brief comeback in 2012, but was extremely limited and made the decision to walk away from the NBA for good. Brandon Roy still involves himself in basketball and loves the game. He currently is the head coach for a high school program in Seattle, where he helped mentor Michael Porter Jr. One thing you can't help but wonder is how good the Trailblazers could have been if it weren't for unfortunate injuries that derailed the careers of Greg Oden and Brandon Roy. Maybe the duo could have been the league's next Kobe and Shaq, while bringing multiple championships to Oregon. Unfortunately, we'll never know. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you want more NBA content like this.